Hello everybody, it is Susan here. Welcome to my channel. So today is my Monday crafty chit chat and slow stitching video. And yeah, I'm recording this yesterday morning, Sunday morning. It's not even 9 o'clock in the morning. It is gorgeous outside. I'm going to turn my little iron on here because I wanted to iron something. And this gets hot like, I want to say in seconds, in less than a minute. But yeah, so I have my windows open, so you're going to hear birds, you're going to hear airplanes, whatever, you know, but it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Okay, so last Monday, I started using fabrics that that were sent to me for my giveaway, my retirement giveaway back in May. And I've been wanting to use the fabrics, and I decided to make a journal cover out of the fabric. So as you can see, they are all very different, and I love it. I love it. And I have decided since last week that once I get the size, so this is the outside cover, once I get it to be the size that I need it, then I am going to use batting. So I know I'm going to use batting, and then of course I'll be sewing on the inside of the cover. I'll probably use this fabric right here. Let me just grab this for the inside. I just love this fabric. It's beautiful. And I have a nice size piece of it. So I think I'll use this probably on the inside cover of this journal. And so I have a real plan. I do know that this lace right here, and I know I said it last week, but I just want to kind of reiterate because I just think it's awesome, is I'm going to end up sewing this blue lace around the whole journal cover. So I don't know if it's going to go under the fabrics or over the fabrics. I'm not sure. That I don't know, but I do know that that's what I'm going to do. All right, so I know that. So see, I have a really good plan here. I really do. And so right now I have this mat that I use, to sew on. I have it kind of to the side over here because after last week, so last week we sewed this piece, and this piece together. And then I'm like, well, let me just get out, tear some more of the fabrics and just kind of play with it and see what I can come up with. And this actually is what I came up with, and I love it. I mean, it doesn't have to end up this way, but it's just kind of like, I don't want to say proof that it's going to work, but I guess it kind of is, because, I mean, I think it looks really nice together. So in the end, I can still decide how big this is going to be, but like if I went all the way up to the top of this piece of fabric right here, which I don't have to, but if I did, that would be 9 3/4 inches tall. If I go from this piece and measure it down, it is 7 3/4, so it's 2 inches shorter. Actually 8 3/4, sorry, 8 3/4, and then 7 3/4. So it's an inch shorter. And so, I'm not really sure. What I do know is, and I'm fine with this, and I actually kind of want to do it, is I'll there'll be some spots where I may have to piece like little pieces on just to fill it all up. Now I want you all to notice something, and maybe you have already if you're super observant. Look at this right here. What does that look like to you? I kind of feel like, well, I mean, I didn't start out thinking that this could be like a person, but I started with this here, which is a piece of beautiful, beautiful trim. I believe I got this from Gretchen, and I cut it because I was just gonna sew it, you know, somewhere down here. And then I'm like looking at that and I'm like, okay, well that'll work. And then I'm like, well, I want to make sure I get a doily on here. And so then I put that there because I thought that looked cute together. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, it looks like a skirt. So then I have this little flower, and that could be the head. And then from this yellow ribbon, I cut 2 legs. And I'm like, you know, how stinking cute is that? Now I'm thinking, does she need arms? Let me see. I don't know. I don't, you know, my intent is not, oh, these are like totally not even the same. One second. Like, does she need arms? I don't know. Maybe. Oh, it's kind of cute. I don't know. It's weird. I know it's weird. I get that it's weird, but I kind of like that it's weird. What do you guys think? Do you like the weird person on here? Oh, what did I do? Here it is. Okay, so I could, and I can still think about this, is put little arms on her. I think she's cute. I think that that's funny. I'm sorry. I think it's like, oh my gosh. But anyway, so that is my plan. So I'm going to take her off. We'll have to name her. What should we name her? I don't know. All right, so that's for the end. So she's going to go over there. All right, so now I put my iron on because I felt like this had buckled when now I can pull this down again. I felt like this had buckled when I sewed it last week. So I just want to iron it a little bit. But before I do that, and you know, I meant to take a picture of this, and did I? No, I didn't. But what I'm going to do before anything else is I'm just going to start picking these things up. And not that they have to go in the exact same place that I have them right now, but they can. So like there's one more thing I want to show you. So under this lace, which I'm excited because I have plans to like use it all, you know, and that's exciting. That's exactly, you know, well, that's what I wanted. It's fun to use up all these fun goodies, right? So, but there has to be something underneath it. So I'm thinking, and I have a piece of it down here as well, just this fabric, which came from someone. And like I said, I do think I remember what I got from who, but I'm afraid to say it because I don't want to mess up. So then down here, I have all this. And like I said, I have that. Let me iron that. And yeah, so we're just going to do a quick little iron here. This thing is hot. I can feel it. And I love it because this right here that I'm sewing on, this gray thing, it's actually a wool mat meant for ironing. So that's really what it's for. Oh, you know what? I'm going to turn this off for a few minutes. Let's go ahead. Since I have buttons on here, I don't want to move this up. I don't want to iron over buttons and ruin my iron. So let's go ahead and do some stitching. And I have a little bit of crafty chit chat to share with all of you. So now, wait, before I start doing that, you know, when doing it, this is like a puzzle, right? And even though I like it how it is, and I want it how it is, right? All of this that's here is it. Well, these three pieces are sewn together, and then this, and this I need to sew on, which looks like it should be rather easy to do, right? But as soon as you start handling it, it kind of, I don't know, kind of falls apart a little bit, and then you start looking at things and you're like, well, do you really want it that way? Like, I'm looking at this right here, and I don't like that it's so neat and like it's just like a clean cut, and I rather have it frayed. And like this right here is beautifully frayed. So I could put it on top, but if I put it on top, then I'm covering up these words, fine silk. So I'm just gonna leave it, and let's go ahead and I'm feeling like this piece right here needs to come out just a little bit. Maybe we'll start over here. I don't know. You see, it's not easy. It's definitely not easy. I still feel like this piece is crooked. I want it more like that. So let's see. Let's see. Now, I don't need to have it in so far. I can come out so you can see. As long as the pieces are overlapping a little bit, just so that I can sew them together, that's what matters. But you see, this isn't easy to piece together. Like, it's easy, I don't know, it's easy for me until I go to put a pin in it, and then to me everything goes kablooey. Kablooey. All right, so I'm just gonna start sewing, because once it's sewn, I think it just, I don't know, it's just easier to look at and everything. All right. So I'm just going to start sewing. See, and I think this looks worse than it did before. So all of that, and I don't like it. I don't, can you see that that's slanted? Is it not? Oh my gosh. All right, I'm going to roll with it, everybody. I am. Okay, I'm just going to do this. I have to start sewing. You know what? I'm going to take this piece off. Maybe that will be better if I have just a couple pieces to start with. So I guess what I'll do is I'll start from right down here. And at this point, all I'm doing is straight stitching just to get everything together. The first few pieces that I sewed together, I sewed with some pale yellow pearl thread. Now this thread, let me tell you about this thread that I'm using. This is what I wanted to share with you for some chit chat. So now I can't share everything with you because, well, I have a video coming out on Thursday sharing what I purchased at a thrift shop. And I have that video. It's hashtag Thrifty Thursday. And it's part of Sherry from Turquoise Dreaming. It's part of, it's one of her collaborations. And yeah, I don't go to thrift stores that much anymore, because I'm just trying to be, you know, careful with money. So I try not to go. But so on on Saturday, which was yesterday, I had really accomplished a lot. It was early afternoon, I don't know, around 2 o'clock-ish, maybe a little earlier than that. But anyways, it was fairly early afternoon. And and I got a lot done, a lot. I had taken care of my garden, which I had a lot to do in it. I have a container garden, and I did that. I made a video, edited it, posted it yesterday. What else did I do? What else did I do? I don't know. I did more things. And I was like, I felt very accomplished. And I was sitting in my living room and, oh, don't gnaw on me. And there we go. I was going to grab a book because, well, I had just finished a book Friday night. And then on Saturday, I'm going to iron this now. I'm going to turn this back on. And so I was like, well, you know, instead of me starting the book, because I have to tell you, for somebody that never used to read, like I was never a reader. But now when I start a book, oh my gosh, it's hard for me to put it down. So I'm like, well, before I start another book, I'm like, you know what? The thrift store down the street, it's at a church, was open. It's open every Saturday. And look at how nice it flattened that out. It was a little poofy before. This piece right here is doing some weird stuff. All right, now I'm just going to turn this off again. Okay. So anyway, so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go. I'm like, because you know what? I don't need anything, right? I don't need anything. So if I go to a thrift store, I'm going to buy something. And I'm like, you know, that's why I normally don't go. Because like if I needed something, I could go get it, you know, it's no problem. But anyway, so I decided to go. It was a beautiful day yesterday. I had accomplished a lot. And it just worked, right? It just worked. So I went and I purchased a few things. You know, I'm not going to share with you everything that I bought because, well, you have to watch Thursday's video. I'm just looking at this to make sure that that's exactly where I want it. And yeah, so I bought a bunch of stuff. And oops, I almost went in the wrong way. At the very end, sorry, I have to stop and think every once in a while, make sure that I'm doing this the way I want it. So anyways, I paid, right? I wrote my check. And I said to the ladies, I'm like, it's a shame, I'm like, do you have any like fabric, pieces of fabrics? Because in this particular thrift shop, they don't put stuff like that out. It's the kind of thrift store, like they don't even have clothes there. I mean, and it's a good size. It's just, they have a lot of knick-knack kind of stuff and kitchen kind of stuff and a lot of Christmas stuff and a lot of books. So that's more what they have there. And I'm like, do you have any fabrics? Because, and the lady goes, wait a minute. So I'm like, okay, I'm waiting. And she goes into the back room and she comes out with a bag that had bags, like the gallon food bags. This bag, paper bag, shopping bag, was filled with bags of fabrics. Now, again, I don't want to share everything I bought with you, but I looked through it. I didn't buy it all because some of it just wasn't of interest to me. But look at this. This has got to be vintage. It just does. It feels it. It looks it. It just does. And so the person I brought it there to sell it, she wrote on here, dotted Swiss, 35 inches by 52 inches. Now, dotted Swiss, this fabric is amazing. You can feel the texture of it, and it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. And it has that like old, I want to say like patina to it. And oh my gosh, it was like my favorite piece. Just absolutely stunning. So I was really happy to get this. And I got 3 different pieces of fabric. And I paid $5 for, multiple yards of fabrics. And I'm making a mess over here. So I was like super happy with that. Like that blue piece, they wanted $1 for that. I'm like, oh my gosh, yes. So anyway, so I got that. But they also have there, which I know I've mentioned to you guys. You know what? I think I'm going to keep this on. Just like maybe halfway though. Because I am finding that as I'm sewing, if I iron it down, it kind of makes it easier to work with. So I'll just keep the iron on medium and I'll keep ironing down. So anyways, but they also have there the kits, like the embroidery kits, the counted cross stitch kits, the kits. And a lot of them are old. But I found this one, well, I don't, probably also older, and it had some beautiful eyelet trim in it, but it also had this that I'm using right now, this thread, and there was a lot of it. I have it right here. And it's still, it's held on together with this little tie right here. And you can pull out one piece at a time. So I'm going to say this is 2.5 feet long. And you pull out one strand of this thread at a time, and I love the color of it. And you know, I've been wanting to get like old cotton thread, like regular sewing thread, but they have it to where it looks like this, where it's like a little like heavier. And I don't think that this is thread, but it reminds me of it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I will definitely use that. So I figure, well, let me see how easy or how hard it is to sew with. So that's why we're sewing it together today with this. And so far so good. It seems to knot a little easy, but that's all right. So far so good. All right, so now, oops, oopsie daisy. I don't want to lose her arms and her legs. All right, so now I can keep going here. So I know about how I had stuff. So what I think I'm going to do, now see the top of this piece right here is not straight. So I sewed it on there slanted. Not that that would be a super big concern, because remember, well, you can see through it. I don't know. Like, I'm trying to figure out at this point in time where the top of this is. So you know what I'm going to do? Because that's slanted, I'm going to straighten it out. And then if I use that as the top, let me see if I can fray it. Yep, all right, good. So if I use that as the top, then that's good. Then I know at least that's the top. So then, see, now I forget how I had this. I think this was here. But now, where did I have this? Oh, I think it was like that. And I knew, and then this was going to go on the end over here. Let me move this over a little bit. Yeah. Was it? I don't know. And then, yeah, I'll have to put a little piece of something right there. So let's see. Let's see. I could put the butterflies there. Okay, this is also, let me straighten this out. It's not easy cutting, holding it up in the air. All right. It's not perfectly straight, but it'll do. So if I have that and I cut a piece, like that, then that can go there. Now what I do want to make sure of is that I don't have the pieces totally straight. I want them a little catty corner, offset. So maybe this would go like down here. All right, well, let me work on this here. So I like that. I like that. And then, like I said, this is keeping the top edge of the cover. All right, and I think I have to wrap up this video. I think it's probably been about 30 minutes, and that's about how long I like to keep these videos going. All right, so now I have to, I think what I'll do, I still have my thread and needle in here. So what I'm going to do is bring the thread to the back of it. Whoops, it just went around this pin. And see if I have to knot it, or can I just, I think I can just start sewing from up top here down. So that's what I'm going to do. Without threading, or without knotting it off. So it goes fairly quickly. I mean, you know, I don't know. It goes fairly quickly, I must say. You know, and I'm chatting and I'm sharing stuff and everything. So it takes a little bit longer. All right, so that's on there. I have a little piece hanging here. I don't know. Oh, no, it came off. All right, so that is like that. It is very unruly though. Like I said before, it's very unruly. It just kind of is hard to handle as far as, oh, I keep getting stuck on these pins. Okay. And then that's going to come across. So I think I'll just sew this on, and that will be it for today. Let me give you an update on my container garden. Excuse me. Ooh. So. Oh my gosh. A lot has changed. I ripped up my cucumbers. All of my plants, because I got cucumber beetles, and I tried for probably, I want to say, a week plus to get rid of them. Excuse me. And let me just make sure I have this flat and how I need it to be. And they were really grossing me out. I cannot stand bugs. I hate bugs. I hate all kinds of bugs. And they were just grossing me out. The fact that I did it for so long, a week plus, I thought was really good. I tried having patience and everything, and it just, although, like, so, like, I'll just tell you, because some people might know what I'm talking about, but I used neem oil in a gallon of water with Castile liquid soap. I used that, and although it helped, they just were not going away. They were just living inside of the flowers of the cucumber plants. And here I am, I'm taking this spray that I made, right? And I'm spraying inside the flowers where the cucumbers, I mean, that's the cucumber, right? And I'm like, well, how are the bees ever going to go in there and pollinate when I'm spraying stuff right into the flowers? I'm like, that can't be good. It's probably like I'm trying to save something that just isn't going to work. It's just not going to work. So I don't know. I just kind of like bit the bullet and just kind of, I tore out the ones by my greenhouse first, and then I tore out the other ones that were over by my deck, going up a trellis attached to my deck. And yeah, so I'm glad they're gone because I feel less buggy. But yeah, so even my greenhouse is taken down. That's on the side of my house. I don't think I can put it there again because um, I was seeing like some really odd bugs around, like bugs I have never seen before. And I mean, and some of them were big. And I'm like, I don't want that near the house. So even though that's the best spot on my driveway side because that's where the south sun is, um, I can't put plants back over there again. So now I have all of my container plants, and I have about 20 of them on my driveway again. Now I have a fairly big driveway, and so it works. It just works, and I like it better because I like working on pavement because there's less bugs, right? So like out my backyard, at my, you know, I have a fairly large backyard. And my grandmother, the whole backyard used to just be a huge garden when I was growing up. And I don't know how she did it. And then she baked everything from scratch. And I'm like, I don't know how she did it. But anyways, that's a whole other story. But like I think about either putting my containers out there in the greenhouse because it gets nice sun out back there. And I'm like, there's no way. I wouldn't even go out there because there's going to be a lot of bugs. And I'm like, I don't want to deal with the bugs. I just don't. So I've learned so much this year. I have failed at so much this year with my garden. It's my first time, and I keep writing all my little notes down. I have notes for next year, what I'm growing, when to start them. Just okay, sorry about that, everybody. My camera stopped, and I didn't realize it stopped recording. So I'm not sure at this moment where it left off, but wherever it left off, I'm sorry. I was probably in mid-sentence talking maybe about my garden, so maybe that's why it cut off. But I just want to say thank you for being here and have a wonderfully blessed week. And I'll see you next Monday. All right, bye-bye.